We need to give credit to David Moyes, and we need to give credit right now because David Moyes, going back for his second stint at Everton, is very impressive. Everton in the past few years have literally flirted with relegation. They flirted with relegation so much that they almost took relegation home. But they brought in their best manager in their life, in David Moyes. And David Moyes came, settled down the club, and found and rebuilt this team into a team that he can be proud of. And that is what they did today. Because the game started, and it was literally a game of pressing. You understand? Because Newcastle had opportunities in the first half. They had opportunities in the first half going crazy. But of course, in the 19th minute, you got Gerald Brantwaite with a beautiful header from an assist from James Garner. We need to give James Garner some credit. He has been a mainstay in David Moyes' team in this Everton side. An assist from that, Gerald Brantwaite gets it. Boom! You see beautiful football start being played. Newcastle wake up. All of a sudden, they wake up. They start playing ball. They start pressing. They start dominating the football. In the 32nd minute, you saw Jacob Ramsey come up with a beautiful goal assist from Sandro Tonali. And in my head, I'm like, oh, this is going to get tough for Everton. But no, what Everton did right next was 2 minutes later, Bento, one of the most difficult strikers to watch in the Premier League, comes up with a goal. And well worked by that. He definitely got his goal. And I was happy for Bento because he has struggled this season. Only 3 goals this season. He has struggled for minutes and struggled for goals. But David Moyes was absolutely smart because putting him in this game absolutely gave him the goal. It was the right decision. And Newcastle were down again after 2 minutes of equalizing. And then the second half happens. Because Jacob Ramsey gets an injury and goes out, and Joe Willock comes in. And I actually thought that Joe Willock was one of the best midfielders in this game right there because he would turn around, and I did not know how good he was until he moved from Arsenal to Newcastle. The dude is such a good footballer. But this game at the second half was all Newcastle. Newcastle had the ball literally 66% of the time. And Everton, I told you guys when I was breaking down Everton and Manchester United, this is what they want. They will give you the ball. They dare you to beat them, especially when they are up. 2-1 up. They dare you to come and beat them. They dare you to come and play. They dare you to come and equalize. Them trying to equalize Newcastle, they are going to pounce. But guess what? Newcastle finally gets that goal. They finally get that goal from Jacob Murphy. What an assist from Joelinton. Joelinton on the left-hand side drives into the box, 18-yard box. Does as if he was going to cross the ball across the pitch. Does the fake. The person slides over. He crosses the ball. He raises his head, sees that Jacob Murphy outside or a little bit outside the 18-yard box is the free man. He dinks the ball perfectly to Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy, coming in the second half, volleys this ball. Doesn't let it touch the ground, not one time. Volleys the ball perfectly into the back of the net. And this is where the problem happens. Newcastle are elated. They are celebrating that they just equalized and they are going to get 1 point from this game. But now Everton had another option because right there, before the goal happened, Tiano Berry, who has been the number 9 for Everton, comes into the game for Bento. And the moment that ball bulges into the back of the net against Everton, Everton picks that ball up and goes to play football. And all of a sudden, Karen Drewsby Hall is in the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, crosses the ball. If that ball did not go in the back of the net, it would have been a penalty because he gets stripped. Tiano Berry gets stripped by Lewis Hall, I believe. Gets stripped by Lewis Hall. But because Tiano Berry is just the luckiest striker right now in the Premier League, his backside, his nyash, absolutely puts the ball in the back of the net. That makes it 3-2. And in 70-something seconds, in literally 70-something seconds, Everton have regained the lead and Newcastle are all of a sudden going home with nothing. And it's mind-blowing to think about, but I just have to give credit because this would have been a 1-1 split of points if You did not get the save from Jordan Pickford, the number one of England. If you did not know it, I believe Jordan Pickford comes from Sunderland and he does not like Newcastle whatsoever. It's a whole rivalry, Newcastle versus Sunderland. We know that for a fact. And for Pickford to come out in the dying moment to give that save what it is from the shot from Tonali, it was ridiculous. It was the reason why Everton gets all 3 points. It was the reason why David Moyes, after the final whistle, walked straight to Jordan Pickford to give him a hug because that there took Everton to 8th place. Because Everton right now are sitting so comfortable in the top half of the Premier League on 40 points. It is brilliant. That is what David Moyes wants. And the funny thing about it is that they are 3 points ahead of 3 points behind Brentford. They are 5 points behind Chelsea. It is magnificent. They are on 40 points. And the team that is 5th place is on 48. So they are building, and the Hill Dickinson Stadium is definitely going to have a brilliant team in Everton moving forward. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button. I know a lot of you watches the video without hitting the subscribe button. Do us a favor, hit the subscribe button because it tells YouTube that we are doing well and we should continue being on your timeline. Thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.